Tottenham Hotspur. The broadest Slovenian smile you would ever have seen.
What exactly are you looking for? The goals?
The
miss? The knockouts? Transfer?
Talk about the bad apples. Rate United's transfer window so far.
But if you don't sort that keeper out in the midfield, we are screwed for the season.
The VAR decision?
As Cassani leads on him, penalty! That is a massive decision. What a huge decision given by Michael Oliver.
The glory or the upset. Empires are built and taken down. Everyone is always on a mission. Now you sabi waiting carry you come outside.
It's a season-defining call, nothing short of that.
Tune into Echo FM 100.7 every weekday, 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. for Echo Sports. Echo Sports. And final score on Saturday at 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. with the sports chef Noble for fresh updates in football, basketball, tennis, athletics, and all interesting developments in the ever scintillating world of sports. Once there is an echo, we are there on cue.
Oh my goodness, you cannot write a script for this, Rob. This is unbelievable stuff.
Welcome to yet another exciting edition of Echo Sports on Echo FM 100.7 Owerri. A beautiful, beautiful Wednesday evening is the 8th day of the month of July 2027. My name is Kachi Sports, and of course I have always done this with someone who I call a partner, though he's refused to choose the other part of that particular phrase. I'm talking about not a person, but Noble, the sports chef. Noble, good evening to you and welcome to the show.
Good evening, Oga Kachi. Good evening to all those listening to us. It's a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. Though I am not happy. I'm not happy at all. This is not, it has nothing to do with a good debate at all. No, it's not Cristiano, it is not Lionel. Because right now, I am very, because with the way things are now, it be like say we go define teams where no sabi manage game. Game management is very, very poor in the African team. They go ask you, are you sure you can lose from going up 2 goals and then finishing that game with a loss? Because that's the criteria that they are going to give anyone going to the World Cup coming out from Africa, because I don't understand what's happening at the World Cup with African teams.
All right, the same way you don't understand, the same way so many Africans don't understand, even though the different persons with different opinions. All right, with the last round of 16 game played last night between Colombia and Switzerland, a game that ended in a 0-0 after 90 minutes plus at the time. Well, through the penalty shootout, Switzerland were through to their quarterfinals, where they will now be meeting up with Argentina, the Argentine national team, led by Lionel Messi, who of course came up better than the Egyptian side yesterday evening in a 3-2 thriller. That's our way of welcoming you this evening. Remember that in this particular show, we tell you a lot about sports, not just football, but all that is happening in the world of sports. This evening, we're going to begin from the home front. The World Cup has entered definitely to the quarterfinal stage of its all. Which country will become the champions of this year's edition of it? Only time shall tell. All right, let's begin from what's up with the Nigerian Golden Eaglets. The Golden Eaglets of Nigeria suffered a 4-2 defeat to the hands of Australia in their second match of the ongoing four-nation invitational tournament taking place in China. The young Nigerian side were unable to recover after Australia produced a clinical, attacking display to claim the victory and handed the Golden Eaglets their first defeat of that particular competition. Despite scoring twice in that particular game, the Eaglets were outmastered. They were bettered by the Australian side, who capitalized on their chances to secure all the 3 points needed. The defeat leaves Nigeria with 1 game remaining in the invitational tournament. The Golden Eaglets, on their own part, will now shift their attention on Saturday's final fixture, where they will take on host nation China as they aim to finish the competition in a stronger mode.
Well, for the Golden Eaglets, it's not something to actually take home with, because now this is a team, this is a youth team that in the previous since last year, they've not actually noted any reasonable success. Going through to the fact that the Golden Eaglets at the AFCON, they are not there. Even when it comes down to FIBA competitions, the Golden Eaglets are struggling. And we are looking at rebuilding and moving from there where we've missed out on the AFCON, which has already signaled that we are not going to be at the World Cup. The AFCON, on the 17 World Cup, they've actually come through. And now we are looking forward to rebuilding. And yes, this is part of the rebuilding process. One would actually say, okay, relax, calm down. This is the first game. But it starts, you understand? So when you look at how things have come through, you can actually state that, okay, what is the next motive for thoughts, right? Or quite all right, but ultimately we still need to get things right. Start from the early stages and get things right. And right now, a couple of changes have actually been made in the managerial cadre for most of the footballing teams coming from the youth development, and we looking at not just one goal but a 2-goal lead in that particular defeat to the Australians. We need to actually do a whole lot more for the young Nigerians as we are building for a reprieve. So the defeat leaves Nigeria with 1 game remaining in the international window. Yes, they scored twice, but it wasn't enough. So they are going to shift focus to their next encounter, which according to reports is coming up on Saturday. And with how things have come through and also building for the future, this is a 4-2 defeat, a lot to be pondered on, and also looking at if they are going to harness a different approach towards it. If those in charge that have been appointed to actually take care of these boys, at some point you ask yourself, how are they scouting these young talents? How are they getting them through? Because when you look at it's just a handful of the Nigerian Premier, the professional teams in Nigeria that actually have youth teams. Just a handful of them. Do we have a strong youth league that is known and visible in Nigeria? These are all criteria that we can actually bank upon when we actually tax how many of the coaches do go around scouting for these players. Do we have scouts in Nigeria? We're not looking at, okay, scouts that will go outside the country and look forward to. Reports as of yesterday had it that Eric Shell has gone on to bring up to 43 players as he prepares to build the golden generation, talking about the under-23, looking at the Olympics, you understand? So, yes, we can look at, okay, the NFF can make room for that, and then there'll be scouts who can look at players, or they are already players that they've been watching for a long time. But in the local scenes, as we are building the under-17, do we have a notable and a visible under-17 youth league? Do we have scouts that go around probably looking at the club sides that have youth teams? I know of
and making selections from there.
Yeah, I know of that of Ikorodu. I know that of Remosa. They have youth setups. They have youth development. How are we looking at garnering this? How can we move and get up these players and also ensure that most of these players, when you look at that game between that should be DR Congo and that's England, you can actually see the likes of Aaron Wan-Bissaka meeting up with the likes of Hurricane and the Red, because they grew up from the youth level. Most of them, they know themselves. When you look at the English setup, when you look at these national team setups outside the country, you see that they built from under 17, from under 10, going into under 15, going to under 17. You see them taking that path, that trajectory. If we can actually inculcate that in our football, it will be a whole lot to have a team that we can set them up at any time, because they spent years coming through together. It's not going to be it's not going to be something difficult to harness their talent and make them play as a team.
All right, it's not going to be difficult to harness them as a talent and make them play as a team, especially when they stay together for a very long time, or for at least a reasonable period of time. All right, let's go over to Nigerian under-17 women team. Talking about the Flamingos, news say they will depart for Lome, Togo on Thursday ahead of their FIFA under-17 Women World Cup qualifier against the Togolese side. I beg your pardon, the Benin side. The Flamingos they will take a narrow 3-2 advantage to that particular encounter. a particular official confirming about the departure of this particular team says that they will be leaving Lagos. They will be leaving their camp at Tikene by 4 a.m. for Lagos, where that's 4:30 a.m. where they will of course board the plane by 9 a.m. A flight to Lome, which is where they are going to execute this particular game that will take place on Saturday, the 11th day of July. The winner of this particular game, of course, will progress to be in Morocco for FIFA Under-17 Women World Cup. Of course, tag Morocco 2026. Well, we will give you further information about this particular information. But, 3-2. These girls are, I have a lot of confidence when it comes to Nigerian female football, and nobody that that was not in doubt.
It's not. No one would doubt that. No one would definitely doubt that.
Now, but I was surprised that. This Benin side were able to get 2 goals at home here.
Going into the game, you understand that these are two. We spoke about this game between girls, the Flamingos, and this Benin side. So we are looking forward to seeing Nigeria at the Under-17 World Cup. The Flamingos, they've shown grit, they've shown hunger, they've also shown discipline in this encounter, because it was a back and forth encounter between Nigeria's Flamingos and Benin Republic side. It was a back and forth encounter where Nigeria kept on. They didn't let go, and they didn't relent. They showed hunger, they showed desire, and I believe that is the desire that gave them the win over Benin Republic in that 5-goal thriller. Because coming off 3-2, and they definitely know that it's still on the cards, it's still on the ropes, because going over to Lome and not playing well, because right now they are going over to hostile environments. I keep on saying that regardless of going into a 2-legged tie like this, regardless of where you are playing first, be it home or away, first of all, get that first leg victory. And that is what the Flamingos have done. But yet, it's a 1-goal lead, which can quickly turn into
a different thing altogether.
You've gone there, you've gone to Lome, come back and stay home. But it can also quickly turn into a victory song where we've actually clinched the ticket to making it to the Under-17 World Cup. So it's all about sticking to the coach's instruction, and also game management. You're leading 3-2. Yes, you definitely want to extend the lead, because it's a 1-goal lead. A 1-goal lead is not really a comfortable lead, but ultimately you already have a lead, so you have to protect that lead by whatsoever means that you can, and manage the game and know how you can ensure that you finish up the game, because quickly one little mistake can turn this 3-2 encounter into being a 2-0 loss in Lome, or going over to even more goals scored, because this Benin side, they've already shown the Benin side,
2 goals away.
And going into this game, when you go through to their results, you can see that they're a high-scoring team, same as Flamingos. Now we are looking at we going into the game. We are looking at 2 high-scoring sides. What do we anticipate? Remember what happened? I always look at certain incidents that happens in the game of football when Bayern Munich met PSG, 2 high-scoring sides, and ultimately the first leg was a fiesta of goals. But going into the second leg, it was a KG encounter. So I believe that's what's going to be. The Benin Republic side will come out firing with all cylinders. And then Flamingos, definitely, they'll want to stick to a plan, tactically be disciplined, and ensure that they do not concede goals. At the same time, they will look for opponents to ensure that they hurt the Benin side right in their backyard.
All right, it's still Eco Sports on Eco FM 100.7 over there. In case you're listening to us on your radio, remember you can join us on Facebook on Eco FM. We are live. All right, away from football, let's look at basketball a bit. Nigeria's under-18 male basketball team, of course, delivered a dominant performance on Tuesday after they thrashed Benin by a commanding margin to kick off their under-18 Afro basketball qualifying campaign in style. The Tigers, under-18, the Tigers cruised to a 95-35 victory, showcasing their superiority in terms of athleticism, defensive intensity, as well as offensive firepower, and they showed this against their West African counterparts. The 61-point blowout sent a clear message across the continent that the Nigerian next generation of basketballers are ready to compete, and of course they will also do so at the highest level. Key actors in that particular encounter include Isaiah John, who led the scorers with 18 points, while Victor Wanfo chipped in 17 points. Of course, these youngsters have shown that they are ready for the big stage. Nigeria's balanced scoring and relentless pressure on the defensive left the Benin side struggling all through that particular encounter. Now, from the opening tip, the Tigers Junior dedicated the tempo, building a substantial lead. And of course, during the halftime, they also continue their walloping. The lopsided final score reflects a complete team effort with strong contributions across the roster, as the Nigerian under-18 basketball side showed the Benin side that there's difference between, playing basketball and knowing how to play basketball.
And there's also a funny side to this particular incident. When it comes down to sports, in the youth sector, Nigeria is always performing. Nigeria is always performing.
But then,
bring in under 15, bring in under 16, under 17, under 23. You will see it's just in recent times that the under 17 has actually been nothing to write home about, not making appearances.
Previously,
even going into WAFUB competition, they are struggling at WAFUB competition. Yes, a lot of people have come out to say that this zoning of a thing that CAF is doing is not really helping African football. But ultimately, dominate the zone that you find yourself first off before you go into say, okay, this is working, this is not working. But for the meantime, like I stated, youth games, youth competition, Nigeria is always coming out on top. Nigeria is always providing talents. A couple of people who are listening now would say, okay, it's because Nigeria 8 cheats that, 8 cheats there, and all that. But when you look at the talent that Nigeria have, you're talking about 8 cheats with Nigeria on various occasions. The officials come out to tell you that they always ensure that they do due diligence to get the very best of athletes, to ensure that there are no age sheets that can rule them out, because when it's being figured out, because based off on the competition that you find yourself in, definitely that rules you out, that disqualifies you. But at the end of the day, when you watch these players, you see that they have talent. You see that they can actually push and become world champions at some point. But then, after dominating at the youth level, and then you take them over to the senior team, it seems like they just disappear. You no longer remember their names. You no longer actually anticipate. Okay, you can see the trajectory. He's good with 3-pointers. He's good with the defensive blocks. You can actually see him. He's good with the turnovers. He's good with the assists. But ultimately, when you go into the senior team, 3-pointers, block, and so it's something that we need to look into. There's some consistency is very, very difficult, not just in basketball, but also in football. But ultimately, you have to be disciplined to ensure that at least you are known for something. The Tigers at the moment on the 18 basketball team, they are, for the meantime, it seems like there's a resurging force for the Tigers. In recent time, going down to their last 3 games, when it comes down to FIBA Olympic qualifiers as well as World Cup qualifiers, you can actually see that the main team, the senior team, they went through 3 games and won 3 of them, and they're looking forward to the next adventure, which will be coming through. They have 3.
I think we have it here now.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to get
we have it here now. Because the Nigerian senior men basketball team are in on it.
They are doing well. The last 3 games, they came through from a record in the qualifiers, from a record of 3 matches, 2 losses and 1 victory. They've gone into a record in 4 victories. Now, just recently, they won 3 straight games in recent time, even beating Rwanda, and we can see that it seems like the future of basketball, 96-35, no be beans
at all. Now, talking about the Nigerian senior men's basketball team, talking about the Tigers, they will face a tough test in their quest to qualify for the FIBA Basketball World Cup after they have been drawn in a competitive Group E alongside Cameroon, South Sudan, Cape Verde, Tunisia, and Guinea. Now, according to news, the draw sets up an exciting opening qualifying window for the Nigerian side. This is because they are going to begin this particular qualifier with a clash in August. That will be on August 27th. The Tigers Sudan, that will be against Cameroon. After that, they will not play again in August 28th, and that time will be against South Sudan. They will also have a match in August 30th against Cape Verde. Elsewhere in the group, Guinea will face South Sudan, while Tunisia takes on Cape Verde on the opening day on August 28th. Cameroon will battle Tunisia, with Cape Verde themselves meeting Guinea before opening window concludes on August 30th, with Guinea taking on Cameroon and Tunisia facing South Sudan. Where Nigeria entered the campaign with an impressive recent record, just like Noble has already stated, with two of its opening opponents. The Tigers themselves have won 3 of their previous 4 meetings with Cameroon and remain unbeaten against South Sudan, having emerged victorious in both previous encounters between both sides. For Cape Verde, however, they present a different challenge for Nigeria. The West African side themselves enjoy the upper hand in recent meetings with Nigerian side.
And it seems like we're not hearing more of Cape Verde.
Yeah.
Cabo Verde. Anyhow you want to put down. They have this is what football has done for Cape Verde.
Yeah.
It has many people when they started seeing Cape Verde in the AFCON, no one really knew them in AFCON, you understand? It was actually when we gave them the update that Cape Verde, there are no new names.
Yeah.
They've been in AFCON for some time now, 3 appearances, and then going into the World Cup, we saw what they did at the World Cup. Unbeaten in 90 minutes at the World Cup.
Against 3 former champions.
Yes, they've been knocked out, but they are unbeaten.
Now in basketball also, they can pose a
now
threat to
in
Nigeria.
basketball now you can see, okay, can they do what they did in football? You can see that sports is gradually growing. So I could just come on cap for Cape Verde Sporting Ministry. They are doing well.
Seriously, because for what is now for Cape Verde, like I said, they will present a different challenge for the Tigers. The West African side they've enjoyed upper hand against Nigeria with recent meetings. Remember that they recorded Nigeria recording just 1 win in 6 previous clashes, making the final an exciting feature for Nigeria. Well, with the qualification for the FIBA Basketball World Cup at stake, Nigeria will be aiming definitely to capitalize on their strong record against Cameroon and South Sudan before seeking to reverse their unfortunate fortune against the Cape Verde side. So, but this is going to be a serious case because Nigeria definitely know that they need to qualify for the next FIBA Basketball World Cup.
A poor record for Nigeria's Tigers against Cape Verde. And most people do not know about this record. To tell you that Cape Verde have actually been in basketball for a while.
Yes, because Nigeria has beaten them just once in 6 times.
Basketball, one thing about basketball, there's no draw. There must be a winner. There must be a winner. So, in 6 appearances, Nigeria has managed to just win 1. Cape Verde have gone on with 5 victories. And going into this particular round, 12 African nations advanced from the first round into the second round. Now in the second round, teams carry over all points and results obtained in the first round. So Group E, we have Nigeria, Guinea, Tunisia, South Sudan, Cameroon, Cape Verde. Teams will not replay their opponents that they've already faced in the opening rounds. Yeah. So Nigeria will exclusively play home and away fixtures against South Sudan, Cameroon, and Cape Verde. So Cape Verde, we've already seen that they are known faces. And what's up for Nigeria now is, first off, they're going to face Cameroon. Then they'll go on to face South Sudan before they'll face Cape Verde. And then Cameroon is actually a favorable tie for Nigeria because the Tigers have won 3. The Tigers, I beg your pardon, they've won 3 out of the 4 previous meetings between them and Cameroon. And then against South Sudan, Nigeria has had a perfect run. Nigeria has had a perfect run against South Sudan. They've emerged victorious in both of their historic matchups. Yeah. So it's now going to be dicey. South Sudan definitely want to spring up surprises. Cape Verde want to continue their near perfect run against Nigeria. And then for Cameroon definitely want to balance out the equation, because the record that Cape Verde has over Nigeria, that's the record Nigeria has over Cameroon. So it's all about the battle of the fittest. And also it seems like Nigeria's Tigers, the Tigers, they are resurging back in recent form, 3 matches, 3 victories, and they definitely want to move over. So come through to seeing the next round coming up, going into the month of August. That's next month. They would rest and also look at the new manager in charge who has NP experience. I believe that is also playing his part to ensuring that Nigeria is recording the highest amount of success. For the meantime, a perfect start for him with the Tigers, and we will definitely be looking forward to seeing how Nigeria are going to perform. First off, they will be looking at qualifying for the Olympics, as well as having the World Cup qualification as well in their grasp.
All right, still Echo Sports on Echo FM 100.7 over. Let's move now and, of course, begin to look at, updates coming from the World Cup. This is not a good one because Morocco, according to news, have been dealt a major injury setback ahead of the 2026 FIFA World Cup quarterfinal clash against France, with key attacker Ismail Al-Saibari ruled out of the encounter. The midfield forward, Kum forward, sustained an injury during Morocco's round of 16 victory over Canada, and he's been confirmed as to not be available for that particular encounter. The Athletics Lions have also been handed another fitness challenge with defender Shabi Raid still struggling to regain fitness. Now, according to news, the centre-back has not yet been declared fit for selection until this moment, with final decision on his availability expected from the medical, of course, team after assessing him maybe today, tomorrow. Let's see how that's going to be. The centre-back has not yet been declared fit, according to news. The absence of Al-Saibari is a significant blow for Morocco, while uncertainty over Raid's fitness leaves the head coach, Walid, of course, and his team facing serious concern ahead of that particular encounter. Morocco will be hoping to overcome the injury setback as they take a swipe and as they aim to go further than they went last time, or at least get to the semi-final, which was their last bus stop last time out.
Ismail Shebari has been one of the key players. He's the highest goal scorer for Morocco at the ongoing World Cup, and looking at him being a key man for Morocco is going to be a difficult one for Morocco when it comes down to finding the perfect fit, because right now each and every player who starts a game for a coach, the coach has a particular tactics that he's looking forward to operating with, and with Saibari out and also looking at the defender Chadi Raid, it's going to be a difficult one, because for Raid it's still not confirmed if he's going to be available or not, because it's a major doubt because of the recent knock that he picked up recently. But for Saibari being put out of that game against Canada, one would not know how the game could have gone if he had remained, but ultimately it's kind of ruined the because going into that game, the Canadians will be looking at Saibari as the main man, the focal point of Morocco's attack. So when that man is out, because you definitely will be talking to your defenders, watch out for this man, watch out for this player.
He's a dangerous man.
He's a dangerous player. He can walk in tight spaces. He's pacey and also very, very clinical. Do not allow him
to get that chances.
Stay comfortable with the ball. Do not give him enough space with the ball. So the situation that he was pulled out, the Canadians definitely will be looking forward to, okay, let's try and change our approach to the game. And also the inclusion of the man who scored the third goal, it also gave them a different line of thoughts, both for the Moroccans as well as the Canadians. So going into the game against France, definitely the French coach, the French tactician, talking about the experience, Didier Deschamps, who is looking forward to creating record if he makes it to the final, 3 consecutive finals as the head coach of France. If he can actually go on to win it, it's going to be 2 World Cup titles in 3 World Cup appearances for Didier Deschamps. So it's going to be difficult for Didier Deschamps, but at the same time, he definitely knows that Morocco can be a stumbling block that can stop them from making it to the finals. Right now, going into that game, odds are against Morocco to come out victorious, but the odds are going down with more injury concerns that are coming up. Saibari ruled out, and also a defender, Raid, not available. His availability is not certain. It's going to be something to ponder upon for the Moroccans, but I feel that it's going to be the French opposition that I'll be looking forward to seeing who are they going to put up, who will the coach go, who is he going to gamble, because in training, defenders are trained on how to maneuver based off on the dynamics of a particular attacker, and then going over to midfielders and also attackers, they definitely will be looking forward to individual and personalized, personalized tactical routine. So ultimately, it's a gamble that both coaches would definitely want to risk, but you have a pool of 25, 26 players going into a competition. Definitely, it is there for you to have a good backup in a situation something like this happens.
All right, still talking about that particular encounter, news has come out concerning the officiation of that particular match. News says FIFA has appointed all Argentine crew led by referee Facundo Tello for the 2026 World Cup quarterfinal clash between France and Morocco. Now, the news says that the officiating team includes assistant referee Juan Pablo Belatti and Gabriel Chade, fourth official Dario Herrera, and reserve assistant referee Christian Navarro Yahoo. According to news, that's Christian Navarro. This marks the first time in 2026 tournament that all 5 match officials for a knockout fixture will be coming from the same country. This is interesting. Morocco versus last particular World Cup, it was France that stopped Morocco in the semi-final. And now both of them are meeting in the quarterfinal. That shows that Morocco have been a top team in the world. No doubt about that. Now, but 5 officials, all of them from Argentina, and now they are going to officiate this particular match. People are beginning to talk, but then, like I always say, at the end of the day, the whole thing lies with FIFA. They have the final say.
Well, definitely they have the final say because they are the ones in charge of overseeing the game, overseeing the tournament. Well, going into this particular tournament, FIFA they are looking forward to they are looking forward to first of all the officials being able to communicate fluently with each other, and we are looking at having more officials that are from the same zone handling a game. But one thing they will not actually look into is having those officials actually handle the match based off on handling, like the Argentines cannot handle a game that Argentina is playing. Italian referees, Italy did not make it to the...
So you don't want to use them for examples.
So French officials will not officiate any game that has to do with France, and Nigeria officials... Nigeria did not make it to the World Cup, and even the officials...
I thought they are yet to lose a match.
The officials did not make it to the World Cup. Now, Nigerian officials.
Yes.
What I'm trying to say is that FIFA, in their own knowledge, wanted to have an opportunity for officials from the same country to handle games so that there won't be any kind of issue, language barrier. Though before you get to that particular point, you should be fluent in at least two or three foreign languages that are not of yours. And then now a lot of people they are reacting based off on the fact that they are stating that why should it be Argentina? If you wanted to do that, couldn't you have looked at other nations that you selected their referee? You would have actually looked at, bring in an all-English referee if you want to continue that. Why don't you look at bringing in an all-Mexican referee, an all-Mexican affair if you want to do that? Why should it be Argentina when you know that it's going to cause a heated argument? Remember that going into the AFCON, there was a certain South African that officiated Nigeria's game. Based off on this is a World Cup qualification, and there was drama that was going to go down, and then that should be Nigeria against Benin Republic, and it was a South African that handled it. Ultimately, CAF was like, we named this and we are going to stand by it after listening to the pleas from Nigeria and also others that were reacting. And at the end of the day, it was a free and fair game. You understand? There was no little or no room for error from the Tom Mbongile. So at the end of the day, right now, yes, fears are that there is some kind of bias that is going on. France, Argentina, FIFA, all in the mix, that it could actually will actually raise its ugly head. But ultimately, what we actually are going to look out for, yes, FIFA has that right to actually name referees, and definitely if both countries, or if France goes on to state, this is our grievances, this is what we are citing, this is what we are going to cry out for. We perceive that there could be foul play. So we are crying out now. You understand?
Yes.
Actually, him and Okukoji back. Actually, the
voice should be heard. Not
that. Make people hear in voice as in they cry. Nobody say they don't kill them. Nobody say. So France now, it's all in there. The ball is in their court right now. Are they comfortable with it? Are they going to, definitely, if they're comfortable with it, they should actually relate to FIFA and say, look, you're bringing in Facundo Telo, you're bringing in Pablo Belletti, you're bringing in Gabriel Shed, you're bringing in Dario Herrera. They are all coming through, even Christian Navarro. These are about five officials of Argentine nationality coming into a game that it's a may or mar for both teams. Morocco made it to the semi-finals. France made it to the finals of the previous edition, and also it's going to bring in bringing old memories. It's good. This is a game that in the previous edition, just like you stated, Morocco lost to France in the semi-final, and that could have actually been a room for them. In that encounter, it was just a one-goal thriller, and then we are seeing both teams. You can see how Morocco played against Canada. They can absorb pressure. And then the French attack, they were caught short by the Paraguayan side, but thanks to that goal that was scored by Kylian Mbappe, it saw France make it through to the quarterfinals of the World Cup. We do not know what's going to happen between France and Morocco, but Morocco has shown that they have a defensive resolve, that they can absorb pressure and actually go on to keep a clean sheet. And then France have actually shown that regardless of the low block, regardless of the physicality, that they can also pull through and come out at you. So it's going to be a very, very cagey affair, and the officiation is definitely, the officiating of that game will definitely be key to both countries winning that particular encounter.
All right, Silico Sports on Echo FM. Let's go on now and let you know that the quarterfinal, of course, after the last round of 16 game that was played yesterday, the quarterfinal fixture is out. Argentina will be up against Switzerland, and Morocco will face France. Norway versus England, and Spain will be, of course, up against Belgium. All right, let's look at some of the other news breaking away from the World Cup. 7 players will head into the 2026 World Cup quarterfinals with 1 booking away from suspension, with another yellow card ruling out of potential semi-final. That is to say that as these players are heading into the quarterfinals now, they should be careful, or else one more booking, they may not be available for the semi-final. Under FIFA's disciplinary rules, any player who receives a second yellow card in the tournament during the quarterfinals will miss the semi-finals in of their particular team. That is if the team advances. Now, a total of 17 players bagged yellow cards in the round of 16 that concluded on Tuesday. Morocco have 4 players who are, of course, walking the disciplinary tightrope. The persons of Issa Diop, Ankref Hakimi, Roden Halhal, and Bilal El Konos. England, on their own part, have 4 players at risk of suspension. Jude Bellingham is one of them, Nico O'Reilly, Declan Rice, and Mark Guehi. Jared Kwanzaa also picked up a red card in the round in the Lions' victory over co-host Mexico, ruling him out of the quarterfinal against Norway on Saturday. France have 2 players on this particular tightrope walking. Manu Kone and Michael Olise, both of them are in this potential missing of the semi-final. That's if they pick another yellow card this time around. Switzerland's Granit Xhaka, Denis Zachary, and Miro Mohane, 3 of them are facing the same situation, while Spain's Ferran Torres, Norway's Antonio Nusa, Belgium's Brando Michele, and Argentina's Gonzalo Montiel, both of them are also in this list. All these 17 players will need to avoid another booking in the last 8 fixtures if they want to remain eligible for the potential semi-final. Which of these players? It looks like many of them probably. The semi-final, the quarterfinal definitely is a period of the game when there is need for difficult, putting body and everything aligned. So the possibility of getting a yellow card is very high here.
And for players, they would actually look at, the intensity of the game would actually make you put in your body and soul. That is how sports takes players. But at the end of the day, yes, they want to be careful. They will definitely want to drive home a particular angle. And ultimately, you can't expect midfielders to allow fellow midfielders and also attackers just to glide through seamlessly without putting in effort to stop them. And at some point, in protecting a lead, you definitely would want to get yourself involved. So unlike Declan Rice, you don't anticipate Declan Rice just let you without being physical on you. And where it could be a game where for the attackers like Michael Olise for France, that is where he could get a reprieve as an attacker. He definitely would just have to try as much as possible to put pressure on defenders. But as going to the kind of pattern that Didier Deschamps plays, even Kylian Mbappe comes through from the attack and comes into midfield and contests for the ball. Same thing for Michael Olise, same thing for Bakola, same thing for Desiree. The attack for France is a team, is an attack that walks around the pitch. They hit map for the attackers.
When they can't receive the pass themselves, they come for the pass.
They hit map for the French attackers. You can actually see from attack to defense to help. It's a collective. We defend massively, and we attack massively. Now, for the English side, you can actually see that it's going to be one thing for the books or one thing going into the semi-final, because now Jude Bellingham, he's a combative midfielder who definitely want to put in a last-ditch attempt to win the ball back. Same thing, Nico O'Reilly, a defender. The Manchester City left back has shown that on and off the ball, he always calculates and reads the game. And then looking at Declan Rice and Mark Guehi, defenders, majorly defenders and the combative midfielder. So it's all or nothing for the English and the Three Lions. And I believe that one out of these players have been named. They may not be available. But Thomas Tuchel, in a video that I watched when John Stones, they were celebrating their victory going into the quarterfinals, he pretended that there was an issue with his shoulder. And then as he was there, I saw the facial expression of Thomas Tuchel. He was like, oh God, please. I beg, may nothing happen. So when he came through and said it was all a prank and they started jubilating, he went and hugged John Stones. I believe he whispered in the ear, no try this one. I beg. A coach definitely would not want to actually see that his key players are not available. Look at Donald Trump stated that it's not fair that a player is ruled out for a match that has not been played. So imagine a coach. How do you expect a coach to react?
It's funny. All right, moving on now. Still reaction from the World Cup. The Egyptian Federation said Wednesday it has asked for the officiating team who handled the Pharaohs 3-2 loss round of 16 game against Argentina to be thrown out of the World Cup. On Tuesday evening, Lexetex ruled out of Mustafa Ziko goal. He ruled out Mustafa Ziko's goal when they were leading by a lone goal as VAR intervened to make sure that that goal was cancelled after a foul on Lisandro Martinez much earlier in the move. A few minutes later, Zico did put the entire the Egyptians ahead when he got the second goal. In the build-up to Argentina's winner scored by Enzo Fernandez, Egypt believed they should have instead been awarded a penalty for a foul on a pull. Alexis McAllister had a serious pull. That was even before the 18-yard box against Hamdi Fati. And the Egyptians are saying that it should have been a penalty for them, but instead they were on the receiving end. That statement added that the president of the Egyptian Federation also demanded the exclusion of the referee and the entire crew from the World Cup after investigating these mistakes and proving the crime of discrimination against the Egyptian national team. The statement echoed remarks by Egypt coach Hossein Hassan, who immediately said that I do not want to put it nicely and talk about hard luck. We have been cheated unfairly today. We have suffered injustice. We haven't seen respect or fair play. There's been no respect or fair play for us. Perhaps they wanted to keep the world champions in the competition. Perhaps they wanted Messi to stay in the running. In football, there are sometimes external factors that go beyond the technical aspects. The world champions receive support at every level. This was, of course, the immediate reaction of Hassan Hussam after that particular encounter yesterday. And what I'm saying is that I read what he said because what he said is corroborating with the feelings of the Egyptian FA after they have, of course, filed a complaint stating that they expect that FIFA or they want FIFA to throw away these officials. How far is this particular, filing or allegation? How far is it going to go?
Well, first off, FIFA definitely would look into that game. Remember, as of yesterday, when the game was going through and the game ended, there is a disciplinary committee that would look into the officiating of games. The officials, they are not acting independently. Yes, there will be match reports from the officials as well as the match commissioner, but ultimately there are seasoned professionals that are looking into the way officials are handling the game. So the appeal will definitely come through if they have filed their case, and FIFA will look into it and review the footages from the match and then look at, okay, that is true, the referee is wrong here, the referee is wrong there. But to me, what has been, the deed has already been done. It doesn't
What's
mean
the need
that
of throwing them
going
out?
Going through to probably it's more like an eye for an eye. Okay, you didn't officiate well. We're going to put a dent in your record, and we have this on you. And when you are being ousted from the tournament, definitely you have a record that you, because of this game, you were thrown out. And then probably they are looking at that. But that
will not reverse the result.
It won't reverse the result. What happened is that Egypt had a poor game management to me, and then going into how things came through in that 5-goal encounter. But ultimately, yes, the president also went as far as stating that when it comes down to this particular tournament, that there is a double standard. There is double standard because he was exceptionally bitter. Sports, especially football, is something that can take you physically. It's going to drain you physically. It's going to drain you
emotionally.
So the president of the Egyptian Federation even went on to allegedly stated that the errors constituted a crime of discrimination against the Egyptian national team. Hossein Hassan, as well as Mustafa Ziko, Hassan claimed that they intentionally directed, the tournament was intentionally directed towards Argentina. When it comes down to the rain of cards, you can see that out of all the tackles that the Argentines
13 of them,
all the tackles,
13 of them,
no
and
card,
no yellow card was
no
issued.
yellow card was issued. Two, it was given more of a, though the game between France and Paraguay was more combative, but at the end of the day, just one yellow card fallout. So when you look at the game as of yesterday and also see how things are, there was disciplinary disparity, and this is what the Egyptians were complaining about. The Egyptians pointed out an uneven application of cards. Egypt received 5 yellow cards, ranging from players and also going into the technical department, while Argentina received 0 bookings. That's a keenly contested encounter. And this is what the Egyptians are complaining about, stating that, yes, you people are not going to see us again, but
we have to say our mind.
We have to say our mind. And then at the end of the day, the FIFA body, the FIFA disciplinary committee, will also look into the comments of the coaches and the players are making. This is where it's going to come through. FIFA are going to say, okay, yes, you want to air your own view, but at the same time, they'll look into there's this term that they normally use in the MPFA. Okay, it's what you said will bring the game to disrepute. You understand? So they will look into it and say, okay, what you said, what you did, your actions brought the game to disrepute. Because at some point, I believe that they're going to sanction the Egyptians because most of the backroom staff came into the field of play. So let's see what FIFA's stance is going to be.
All right, let's give you more updates. Silico Sports on Echo FM 100.7 this evening, the 8th day of the month of July. Morocco's Ayoub Bouandi has been named among the leading contenders for FIFA Young Player Award ahead of the quarterfinals of the 2026 World Cup. Others in that particular lineup, players are waiting to be named Young Player of the tournament. They include France Desirdo, England's Nico O'Reilly, and Spence Lamine Yamal. FIFA highlighted the quartet on Wednesday after their impressive performances in the round of 16 helped their respective countries to secure places in the last 8. The award, according to FIFA, is of course will be presented to the tournament's best player born on or after January 1st, 2005. The players are Bouande of Morocco. The Lily teenager impressed again in Morocco's victory over co-host Canada and is expected to play a key role in their quarterfinal game against France. The second person is Desire Doe. The guy, of course, he doesn't need introduction. The 21-year-old has been exceptional from club side to countryside. O'Reilly of England, another big discovery of the man who knows how to discover young talent sometimes. Talking about Pep Guardiola, last season, the guy was a serious breakout for the Man City side, and he has continued his impressive form at the countryside as he's helped his country to get to the last 8. Lamine Yamal, another player who has also been highlighted. The 18-year-old scored his first World Cup goal against Austria in the round of 32, and he's been impressive so far, though he was made to be very quiet against the Portuguese side, but then ultimately he has been very exceptional. These 5 players are of course, possibly going to, one of them will receive this particular award. Now, the 2026 World Cup has witnessed two nations break new ground, with Norway qualifying for the quarterfinals for the first time in their history and Morocco making it a back-to-back. That's another history for them. Norway pulled off one of the tournament's biggest upset by defeating five-time champions Brazil 2-1 in the round of 16. Victory, of course, that has seen the Norwegians making it to this particular round of the World Cup for the first time. For Morocco, they have achieved the historic milestone after a 3-0 victory over Canada in the round of 16. The North African side will now compete in the World Cup quarterfinals for the first time, underlining their continued, of course, rise as one of the biggest countries in the world of football. So these two teams making history for themselves is going to be very impressive to see how they are going to perform in the quarterfinals. All right, his news breaking out today says that the United States federal prosecutors and agents of a Federal Bureau of Investigation have launched a preliminary probe into financial operations of the Argentine Football Federation in the U.S. They are investigating whether transactions linked to the body could constitute money laundering or fraud under American law. According to a report published on Wednesday by Argentine newspaper known as Nacional, investigators from the U.S. Department of Justice have begun taking testimonies from individuals with knowledge of the AFA's financial activities in the United States of America in 2026 World Cup as the game continues. The report said investigators are seeking to determine how the football body, led by Claudio Chucky Tapia, channeled hundreds of millions of dollars through the U.S. financial system and whether any of those sanctions violated U.S. law. What is going on? Are they beginning to... Argentina, are they beginning to...
Yeah, I don't know why you're asking me that question. I don't know why you're looking at me.
What I'm saying is...
because... why the FBI, they know what they have seen. They've checked their paper trail and they must have discovered certain illegal transactions, because before they come through to point fingers at you and state that something like this happened, there's a paper trail that they are working on. And for the Argentines, they have to come through and tell them, say, we don't know what they talk about to see from our own
How will
end.
this affect the team now?
Right, it's not going to affect them in any way, because there are those that have been earmarked to handle certain this comes through to be the administrative department, because right now in the footballing sector, Scaloni would definitely have nothing to actually do with this. Messi or the likes of Otamendi, the likes of Martinez, the two Martinez, the Enzo Fernandez, you don't expect them to come through and start saying, okay, FBI, see what happened. They don't have the details about whatever FBI is investigating. It's the administrative department that would have to be called into question.
All right. Okay, before we open the phone lines, Premier League side Fulham have appointed Arbeola as their new manager. Of course, that's on a 3-year contract following the departure of Marco Silva, who is now with Benfica. News say, of course, Arbeola will continue to, or has begun, of course, already, to take charge of Fulham after Marco Silva handled that club for 5 years. In an interview with the club website after his appointment on Tuesday, Arbeola expressed his delight at joining the Premier League outfit. Arbeola's appointment is, according to report, supported by positive references from recent re-elected Florentino Perez and Real Madrid's new manager Mourinho, under whom he previously played at Santiago Bernabeu. The former Spanish international is now ready after he's left the Real Madrid outfit. He is now ready to continue a new life in England, and that will be with Fulham. 3 years contract. Is he going to say this through, or will something happen again along the line?
0911 20,022, 0911 20,022, or 0707 454 1014, 0707 454 1014. These are the numbers to call. You can also send in a WhatsApp or Facebook reaction. For WhatsApp, the number to send in a message is 0707 491 3438, 0707 491 3438. You can go over to Facebook, Echo FM 100.7, Echo 100.7, or Echo FM on Facebook. You can see us live there and send in your reaction. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Mr. Master.
Good evening to you. Is that Engineer Elemas?
That's it.
Elemas, you're welcome.
Yeah, good evening. Now I hear you.
I hear you, Engineer Eleman.
Yeah. You see, I want to finalize this issue. A man with grace, he can never stop him. So forget all this argument, bantering, whatever. In this yesterday,
Man, are you reacting to any of the news we have read this evening?
yes, now based on Argentina, Egypt yesterday, now understand. Issue I wanted to react to the coach of Egypt. Now give him make it open his mouth and saying that FIFA favoring Argentina. Are you saying you are leading 2 goals now ahead? Under 12 minutes, they equalize it and win you. No. You are not a coach. If I should be the president of Egypt, I will back him directly. What are you saying? Which excuse are you giving? I'm trying to tell you that. Which excuse are you giving to us? 2 goals, not be 1 not. 1 nil is pressure. 1 nil is pressure. 2 goals, you have already sealed it. You have already sealed the match. You're supposed to. Your name is supposed to be jubilating, winning. He changed the people that are marking the Argentina. He changed it and that change he made kills his match. And he have no excuse to give. And forget that he is dealing with a man of grace. A man that God blessed in football naturally, not right. by. Are you getting me?
All right, see, the grace is growing. I told you earlier time before this World Cup. Argentina and final match. All
Argentina and France.
All right.
So all this bantering, we are going further.
Thank you very much, Engineer Lema. All right, let's look at the message on on WhatsApp. Good evening, the sports presenters. As usual, my name is Felix Nwozuzu, testing from
Felix.
Yeah, good. He says testing from his humble community, Umwa Himberry. The exit of Egypt from the World Cup by Argentina. The pain still remains. The pain still remains. According to you, fresh in me, but I also want to congratulate Argentina for reaching this far. And again, same time you say you want to congratulate. Congratulations goes to Switzerland for beating and sending home Colombia. Please, why are they bringing too much politics in football these days, thereby dragging the integrity of the beautiful game of football to the mud? And finally, I bet you the Egyptians that Argentina saw yesterday, they must see them again in the near future, where the Egyptians and an African shall sing the victory song in the land of Africa. And finally, I see Switzerland sending Argentina back home to South America, and Morocco will beat France. Despite the nasty comments by Morocco's sports minister, I tip Morocco for Switzerland or Switzerland to win the World Cup. Thanks, and do enjoy the rest of the evening.
And you too.
Thank you very much, Felix. Good evening, sports chef and man. Good evening to you.
And
that's just
coming from Patience.
Yeah, she likes to drop it bit by bit. Another person here is also on WhatsApp. And you say premium evening catchy sports and the sports shelf. First off, kudos to all the 8 teams in the quarterfinals of the World Cup. Going forward, only the more resilient and mental tough teams will progress further. All the teams qualified already merited it. As for the Egypt's FA request on FIFA, you are asking a question here. You are saying, let's get a message well. You say, as for the Egypt's FA request on FIFA, are they not grateful that Zico was not booked for pulling his shirt after scoring the second goal, which was chopped off? This question is also funny to me. Okay, going on. Also, this World Cup have had issues of wrong calls from officiating, but I feel that no team or club will say that they have not benefited from wrong decisions. Finally, with the performance of African teams in the ongoing World Cup, I feel that African countries lack the technical know-how and how to absorb pressure. According to you, pressure to move forward. All right, they lack pressure to move forward. A splendid day ahead, guys. God bless Echo FM. I'm Ugos from Naze.
Good evening, Ugos.
All right, Ugos, we still have a couple of messages here. Good evening, Echo families. The Fulham coach was a team The Fulham new coach was a team to Alonso in Liverpool and in Real Madrid. Now, they are here to face each other in their first Premier League game this season. I'm telling you, I pray Chelsea win because I am a Chelsea fan. I'm Clinton. Clinton, all right?
Good evening, Clinton.
Good evening to you. Hi, Kenu and Noble. FIFA is making people see reasons to believe that they are supporting Messi. This one is coming from Ifeanyi Chukwu. Okay, Ifeanyi Chukwu, okay, J10. All right, J10, that's your own opinion. Then, okay, this one say, all I can see is Nawao for Egypt. Good night, Biko. Very angry here. What you, I don't want to say that why you said that. all right. People are also angry that Egypt could not see that game to a conclusive end.
Hello, good evening. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening and welcome.
Man with Sabi, my man. Good evening.
Good evening to you, brother. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, good evening, your colleague there.
Good evening, my brother. Welcome.
I'm Antonio Kechuku from Ndegbo, Were West.
You're welcome.
Antonio, you're welcome.
Yeah, since yesterday, my brother, I've been trying to balance what I saw in the game against Argentina and Egypt.
Okay.
Well known, over time, we have this argument about Ronaldo and Messi. Some being in the Messi's divide, others in Ronaldo. So, but that doesn't stop someone watching football for what it is and what it ought to be. Sir, good evening, sir.
Okay, sorry, it looks like someone has taken your attention. All right, okay. Yes. So first, it was this was a first. It was not given me. Okay, okay. This is coming from J10. J10, you came back again. You said first, it was not giving Messi red card. I am God of banter. Okay. First, it was not giving Messi red card. I am God of banter. J10. Well, I don't know. Are you saying that they should have given Messi record in the match?
Probably he's relating to that encounter where Messi stamped on a player.
Okay. The game against Algeria. That is their first the opening day where he scored the hat-trick.
Message is saying FIFA is making people see reasons to believe that they are supporting Messi.
First, it was not giving Messi a red card. Okay, that matter. You're right. So, okay, I think this is why we're going to match break. Thank you very much for being part of the show. But remember, like I always say, I believe, for those of us who are talking about the Messi and Ronaldo, GOAT debate, I believe strongly that football is older than both these both players.
They have come, we've enjoyed their gameplay, and their living will still
continue when they are gone. So based on that, I believe whatever anybody should say should not be based on sentiment, but based on facts and figures. That's the way I see it. Yeah. For me, it was a very, very interesting game. I believe any day, anytime, with the squad the Argentines have, I said it yesterday, with the squad they have, they can face anybody and beat the person.
Definitely,
that's just the truth, because the coach has been with them for a long time and has known how to do his sub to change the tempo and the texture of the game. That was what happened yesterday. But at the end of the day, those who are saying that the Egyptians, you understand, were undone, were, mistreated, also have the points they are putting in table. But whatever it is, that game is done and dusted. The team that made it to the quarterfinal, Argentina. That is it. All right, for me, I'm going to say Hakuna Matata at this particular juncture.
And my name is Remains Noble, the sports chef, the Fox in the Box, and we have exhausted our time for today's program. Until tomorrow by 6:30, we'll be back. So keep it low, keep it tuned. Remember, it is still Echo 100.7 FM. Go on to Facebook if you've not followed us, as well as go on to YouTube and subscribe, because we are going to be coming your way anyhow you want it. Radio, we did. Facebook, we did. So until tomorrow, buenas noches.